going on, everybody? Now look, I don't know how much y'all know about history, but if you into history, we about to go into some history today. And I feel like the only way we gonna get this shit done right and learn how this shit really went down, so we can get all this confusion shit out the way, is if we start from the basics of what they call Pangea. You know what I'm saying? When the world was all connected into one. This is how we about to figure out how people migrated from one place to another, where people was already at, if people was really brought on slave ships. Do it even make sense? Do you make sense that everybody came from one spot and just spread it through all this land mass? Now let's really go through it. So at the top you can see there's China. Next to China you can see there's Mongolia. Next to Mongolia you can see there's Russia. I believe that would be next to Russia. I don't know. So many countries these days. That could be like all them little, what you call those, like Ukraine and all them other little Czechoslovakia, all them. It probably is all them little countries. And then you go through, that's like Europe going south. Then you got Italy with the boot. Well, my bad, I done skipped over the Persians. You got the Persian and the Iranians and like all that empire and stuff right there. That's why it was the Asian Empire. It makes sense. But then if you look down, that's Saudi Arabia and everything. Anyway, if this is how everything was put together. So we go down Italy. Now, we always said Europe was always part of Africa, and it was North Africa. As you can see right there, that's North Africa, where Italy is connected with a Buddha. It's connected. You can almost, it's south, I would say, right on top of Liberia. So, Turkey connected to Saudi Arabia. You know, then you got all the whole continent of what they call Africa, but you got these individual countries in there. You can see Ethiopia is right north of India. I had an Indian friend tell me one time too. He said south of India is Ethiopia. So maybe after the flood, not the earthquake of Pangea, where this stuff, when they say it broke the continents apart, it was a flood. So maybe a flood came about and moved stuff certain places and all that. But right now we're gonna go off this. This is what we're here to talk about. We'll go through that on another episode. We got Africa right next to Brazil, Bolivia, and the countries that you see next to Brazil and everything is Congo, Angola, South Africa, some more countries down there. I can't really tell which ones it is, but they are right there next to South America. You got South America connected to all the Central America's right next to Peru. So look, you got Peru connected to all the Central American countries, and that's Mexico. Now Mexico look a lot smaller than what it is today, but at that time probably, you know, that's how it was all connected. You know, actually it might be a little larger. What I'm saying, it might be that might be a lot larger. But you know, you got all the Central American countries. Then you got the United States, you got Canada. And if you go north of Canada, that would be Alaska, connecting all that. So it was like a big circle, a whole circle. So it makes perfect sense how trading and people will migrate and travel, I should say. I wouldn't say migrate, but people just travel. So you got everybody on the equator. The equator, we know that's where the sun at. So, you know, that's where all the brothers at. That's where all the melanin people at. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at. Pretty sure we do a little more, but I'm pretty sure the more north you go, that's they civilizations. I'm pretty sure it wasn't no melanin people up there in Russia and Mongolia and China and all that, and Korea and all that stuff on the side. Iran, that was all them. That was all them. That was their thing. You know what I'm saying? That's like basically what they call like the Caucasus Mountains, I would say. So, yeah, you can see right here, India. And that's why it's a lot of real black, dark Indians. If y'all go in India, it's like, and that's everywhere you go. If you go everywhere, it's like the more north you go, it's light skinned. The more south you go, it's dark. Don't ask me why. It's just, to me, it's whatever. So, It seems like it's done like that by design. But anyway, if you look at it, people will be already here in Brazil, Bolivia, Argentina, Peru, and I would say Colombia, Venezuela, and the rest of those countries. So it'll be civilizations already there. Imagine tribes, people there. Then they was probably wearing mostly the furs that they got out there, jungles and stuff. So that's why the Incas they wore like jaguar, and people in Africa wore saying they animal furs. They had more like lions, cheetahs, zebras and stuff like that. So you wouldn't see the tribes over in Brazil or the Incas over in like Brazil, Peru, and all that. The dark Aboriginal people over there wearing those type of furs because they didn't have those animals. So you can always tell the difference between the tribes and the locations off what they wore and what they dress. That's a lot of things people don't pay attention to as detail. So that's how you know the difference between the tribes. It was always people already over here. That's why the Olmecs, they invented things like chocolate. You know what I'm saying? What they call cacao. You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't called the Olmecs neither. That's a term that I guess people that wrote in their diaries, Europeans used because they was famous for having rubber, so they called them the rubber people. But they was also dark and black like rubber. There was the Olmecs. But those people was called the key people. And I guess the key people was like people of the stars. You know what I'm saying? That's what they went by. I don't really know too much into it. I'm still studying, but I do know that much. That's facts. If y'all always wonder what the Olmecs called themselves outside of what they say labeled them as the Olmecs, they was called the key people, and that means people from the stars. So anyway, so we're talking about 800 BCE, something like that they found in the Olmec calendar, and they found like tablets and like a head sculpture. And people try to say no, that this features the I want to say they say the I want not the Samoans, but they say like the Polynesian people or like people from like Indonesia, the Polynesian people that traveled or whatever. They try to say that's them because they look similar like that, but it wasn't. No, we know who it was, man. There's no need to try to like wash us out of history, bro. We civilized what we civilized, we created what we created. So like that's like, come on, man. What's the hate for? Y'all that jealous? Y'all trying to wash everything about us out of history? Like no, y'all can't do it. Cause even if you go down to these countries today, they recognize they black. Well, I'm not gonna say black. They Aboriginal heritage. They tribal heritages. That's why you still got like the West Indian parades and all that stuff. Come on, man. Even Mexicans they wear the feathers. You know what I'm saying? They had the parades. They wear the feathers. All through Peru, Brazil, South America, they all wear the feathers, bro. We still wear the war paint, do the feathers, do the chants, the dances, all that. We just speak different languages now, and we living under all these different government corruptions, and they done changed us and gave us these new languages, religions, and nationalities, and all this other bull to separate us, to make us different. Even gave us sports that they learned from our heritage and our culture. Basketball is an Olmec thing. Y'all don't even know how old these games is, bro. Olmecs been playing basketball. Yeah, they used to have a little a round rim, but instead of it's a circle to where it's like sitting like a bowl with a net, it would be sideways, like a tire. Like if you had a tire just sitting up, it'd be like that. That's the rim, and you gotta throw the ball the one way. So if you're on this team, you throw the ball through the left side of the hole. If you're on the other team, you throw it through the right side of the hole, and that's how they kept count of the score of the game. So this is old stuff, bro. If you pay attention to what history is all about, it's about people coming to other people's land, spying on them, taking their inventions, lying saying they did it, and basically degrading them all through history and stealing everything from them. Look at this. They say they stole you from a country and took you to another country. Stealing. Oh, go ahead and work. We'll steal all the stuff, and then we pay y'all in these green notes, these green slips, green notes, whatever. That ain't worth no money. That's basically IOUs. While you give us the goods, and we gonna make the gold and all that off of it. And when it's time to pay you up, we flip the whole, we reconstruct everything and flip it on y'all. Think about it. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let's just go there. All right, we done with this. We see people didn't all come from Africa. We see people wasn't slaves. We see people was already in their own countries and everything, and they traveled and traded goods. That's why you got goods in certain countries, like in Africa had certain goods that they had in this country, and they had certain goods that, you know what I'm saying, because they all moved around, migrated, shared, and they trade, and they did all that, you know what I'm saying. Some people left what we call Ethiopia, but mostly all that stuff was Congo. What you see, all that was mostly called Ethiopia. Some people was over in South America. They was already doing they thing, trading, building civilizations, doing already. So it wasn't never like people got took from here and got brought there. There was already things going on. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. We had Black Wall Street. We had Black Wall Streets all over Detroit, where I'm from, which was called the Black Bottom, Paradise Valley neighborhood. That was a Black Wall Street. But in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921, they had one. And what had happened was Negro Indian boy he's supposed to be working at a place downtown. He had to use the bathroom, the elevator or something or I think his usual bathroom that he used, his original bathroom that he used was shut down. So he had to get on the elevator and ride it up to, I guess, another bathroom. And there was a woman in there in the elevator, which was a white woman, and I guess he bumped her or something when the elevator shook. So they decided to say he grabbed her or made her scream with some crazy stuff. They used that to hang the boy, or to want to hang the boy. And the indigenous Negroes, the Negro Indians, they was like, nah, y'all ain't doing that to him. So they got to fighting downtown. Gun was pulled. A Negro Indian and a white man got to fighting over a gun. White man got shot. That was enough for them to burn down the whole town, bomb it. They used U.S. bombs. They had the okay from the government. They cut off all the communication from the town to go out to anybody so they can call their other family members and warn them what was going on. And also, not only did they cut off the communication lines, they robbed. After they bombed them, and the fight lasted for a minute. You had about 10,000 Negro Indians, and there was about 50,000 whites. So they fought off as much as they could. They held the ground, but eventually they got overpowered. Plus, the whites had help from the army, and the whites called and said Negroes is rioting and killing innocent whites. So when the U.S. Coast Guard Army rolled up, which was majority all white people, they opened fire on innocent women and children because they was told that armed Negroes was rioting and basically trying to overthrow the government or whatever, or kill innocent white people, whatever, take the land or whatever lie they told. It was based upon blacks was guns, they a threat. We need y'all to come in and help kill these N-words. And that's what it was. And they bombed, they killed innocent women and children, and they robbed, and they took land. Now, I'm going to drop this jewel on y'all right here. Before all that happened, the profitable businessman and the Negro Indian community, the bankers, we had our own banks, we had our own schools, grocery stores, doctors, we had dentists, we had everything you could think about, farm and everything. We was very wealthy. People from they community, white people, they was not doing too good, so they was borrowing money, and it was particularly the people that owned the oil rigs or owned the oil, the white men that owned the oils. There was a few oil men that owned the oil companies, and they was borrowing money from Negroes, and they didn't want to pay back. They was borrowing money from Negro banks, they didn't want to pay it back. So they used that opportunity right there to destroy everything, rob and steal. That way they could take land, rob you, and not have to pay you back all at one time. And that's what that was all about. And I dare anybody challenge me on that, because you can't, because it's the facts. They already came out and even admitted it. So anyway, after that, 10 years down the line, ever since then, my people been on welfare since the 1930s. It was the number one target for welfare. After that 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma bombing, and my people was out there stranded, they had nowhere to go and had to sign up for government assistance and help. They came out with welfare, and my people been stuck on welfare. And I dare anybody challenge me this shit, cause I keep on and I bring out more. I'll bring out more years, and I'll bring out more facts. I got a list. But that what happened in 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma. My people was robbed for no reason. And the one thing I'm going to tell you right now, one fear of white people, and I mean white people all over America, the righteous to the wicked ones, they fear is one day that the black people will, the Negro Indians will learn who they are, come back together, take back this land, but they going to do it forcefully. And they feel like what they done to us, we gonna do to them, but on a way larger scale. And I'm here to tell you, to be one honest person, we ain't worried about y'all, motherfucker. We not worried about y'all. And we never was. We just want to be left alone and do our own damn thing. That's all we ever wanted. Y'all scared of competition. We was never y'all competition. Y'all making us y'all competition. We treated y'all as equals when y'all came here. Y'all turned this into something else by stealing, so your offspring can have a better future. And we suffered when we was promised to all be equal, and that's what our grandparents agreed to, right? But see, now I'm going off on topic, because see, that was for another episode. That wasn't even for this episode. I was just trying to break down to y'all and tell y'all about how the world. So as you can see, everything is not as big as they say it is. And India is not as far as they say it is. Now, remember, we look at the other map I told y'all. People say if you go south of India, that's Ethiopia. So that goes to tell you that if you was to take Saudi Arabia, you would have to move Saudi Arabia up more north, and all them other. You have to grab. Look, you have to grab that whole landmass. Like if you was to click on it with the mouse, and say you was to move this whole landmass section from Arabia, India, China, Russia, Europe, you would have to take all that and move it over, going straight up north first, and then go a little bit west. See what I'm saying? You would have to take it, go straight up north, go west, my nigga. Go straight over, go straight west, and then place it down some. And once you place it down some, you will have Saudi Arabia and stuff. That'll be over Egypt. Turkey will be right above, I should say, Libya. And the rest of the countries will be where they at. Russia will be up more north. China also. But India will be right on top of Ethiopia and Somalia. I think that's what the placement of that right now. Australia is a lot closer to Madagascar than what they saying it is, and those islands are closer. You know what I'm saying? Brazil is a little bit closer, I believe, to Africa than how far they saying it is. Also, so that's my belief. You know what I'm saying? But I have friends that live in other countries. They didn't travel. They told me when they went south of India and left the border, they went into Ethiopia. So I'm going off what they telling me. They over there. So I'm looking at the map, and if you was to go south of India right now, you going into the ocean. But if you go south of India, according to them, they in Ethiopia. So that means the land masses It's exactly probably what I just said, how I described it. Now, this is what we're talking about now. Africa, they're saying people came from West Africa off slaves as slaves brought into America. Well, Christopher Columbus say he sailed and he landed and thought he landed in India and started calling all the people Indians. And granted that these people had names and tribal names, the Theanos, um, the Aqua. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that was more like probably I want to say like Aquas was more probably like the Trinidadians and all of those, the Virgin Island, well like the Trinidadians over in that area. The Theanos was more like I want to say Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Jamaica. Um, the Seminoles was in Florida, Cherokees and all them was, and the Choctaws was all in like in the south. If you want to go towards Mexico, or let's go west, that'll be the Apaches and Apaches or the Apache. I don't know if I'm saying Apaches and the Navajos and all of them and those plains over there. And then if you go down in Mexico, you got the Tejanos and the Caribbeans and the Arkawa. That's Arawak. Arkawa. That was a tribe of people too. And then you had the Tejanos, got Mesoamerica, and then if you go in Florida, you got the Seminoles, Chickasaws, Choctaws. You can go up more as the Cherokees. The more west you go, you got the Navajos, Pueblos, Apache, South, and you go into Mexico, you got the Conchos and other tribes and all that. Mesoamerica, they had their tribes, which is like the Mayan, that was like the Mayan, Aztecs, and all them, and the Olmecs, and they civilization and so forth for they all they tribes, whatever they was broken down into groups. Um, civilizations did change. So the map that I'm giving y'all right now, that I'm trying to explain to y'all right now, is in the 1500s. You know what I'm saying? This is cultures from the 1500s. So you got the Tejanos and the Caribbeans right there, as you can see what we call Puerto Rico and everything, or Cuba and all this stuff. The Aquawas, and then you got the Seminoles in Florida, the Choctaw, Cherokees. That's all in like Georgia, Tennessee area, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? And you had tribes all the way up north, like in Michigan. The Fox tribe. I know they had. I don't know if they. The Cigar Indians was somewhere near around that area. See, it's a lot of tribes on here that's not mentioned. But let's just go. Let's just go to this. Okay, so the whole thing was they say, I just wanted to name the tribes off to y'all in those areas so y'all can know the name of the people before we go into Indians, calling everybody just Indians, because once again that was a government name for coding, just to label people as, so just to identify you as something, because they didn't know what to call you, and they didn't want to label everybody as individual, so they figured let's label them all under one label. And the same thing that's going on today with so-called blacks, African American, colored Negroes, whatever you want to call us in their term. But in our term, we are the American Negro Indian. And Negro was the word given to us by the Spanish, the Spanish, not the European from England, but from Spanish, the Spain. The Spain king sent out his group, whatever. And they spoke Spanish, and the term in Spanish for black is negro. So white people don't say negro, they say negro. So they called us Negroes, off what the Spanish called us as negros. That's why the Europeans, they came late. Remember, the Spanish came first. The other Europeans came later. So they was going off of whoever already was putting stuff in play. They was going off whatever they was saying. But anyway, they came here. He landed. Christopher Columbus landed. He thought he landed in India. He stuck on everybody Indians. They was not Indians. They was already traveled. They had everything. They welcomed them. They seen they actually crashed. They ship was wrecked. People helped them and everything like that. Gave them food, this and that, and the third. You know, he sat around for a little bit, learned, left some of his men, went back, told what he saw, snitched, spy, whatever his reason was doing. Yeah, they got gold, they got this and that. Everybody's walking around living good. They got all the resources we looking for. They had this stuff, type of stuff there. This stuff valuable. We took back a couple little things and showed them what they had and everything. He sent them back with more men and more ships and guns now. So now they bringing back more people, trying to set up shop. But now they got another agenda on their mind. You know what I'm saying? So we can just already figure what happened. So that kills the part right there. Because when they arrived, he said, we seen people that look black, copper-colored people. And they was covered in gold with feathers. And they had their own thing going on. They already had like their own languages. They had their own structure. They had their own everything going on. Own farming, everything to a T. They was healthy, everything you can think about. They was living it. They had everything that anybody can ever want. And Europeans was envious and jealous of that. And they tricked these people because they seen they had a good heart. And they was willing to help. And they used that to their advantage. And they did the most dirty, grimiest, filthiest things you can think about. And they don't want to own up to it today because they too embarrassed to put that mirror in their face. And they want to sit back and parade with all these riches right now. But I'm telling you, what goes around comes around. Look at y'all youth. Look at y'all offspring. They really don't want nothing to do with being. The more they learn this culture of how y'all was, they try to run away from that. So all the stuff y'all did that thought it was gonna benefit your offspring don't even want nothing to do with it. They gonna be the next ones in charge and they gonna be just handing it back off. Cause they don't want nothing to do with how y'all took it. Y'all did it so sleazy. When y'all could have did it in an honest way because we was already rocking with y'all. Now y'all could have really set up the companies, made the money, paid us. You know what I'm saying? Made sure we had our individual lands and all that, and y'all had y'all's and we coexisted and had a fair game, but y'all didn't do that. Y'all ain't stick on y'all word. Y'all backstabbed, and y'all know y'all did, and I don't want to hear that shit. Y'all want to lie, talk about y'all brought people over here from Africa, shackled in slaves so y'all can own them and give them a name and label them what y'all want to label them over and over and over and over again through time. My thing is, how did you bring some people over here from Africa and change the name on them so many times? If they came over from Africa, you would have been calling them African from the start. Or what you say you got from West Nigeria? Not Nigeria, but one of these Western countries, Uganda or whatever. That's where y'all took all of them from, and y'all brought them over there as slaves. So why wasn't they called Ganda African slaves or whatever? Why y'all had to change the name so much, man? It's just your lies, just the lies. And y'all ain't do no West African slave trade, whatever y'all want to call it. The Atlantic slave trade and all that. It was cap, man. It was cap. That probably did take a couple people, probably like Europeans, probably was getting their ships robbed by pirates. You know what I'm saying? And people from that land, like tribes from that land that was pirates in and all that stuff. Cause they did have pirates back then. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they were snatching up like pirates and went back to their lands and snatched up people and locked and took them in as prisoners of war or whatever, and then they used them people for slaves when they came over here to establish the little lands that the natives did give them. They needed workers, so they brought them people over here because they were slaving their own white people that wanted to get away from the horror, the disgusting way of living that they was living in Europe, because the kingdom was living good, but the people outside the kingdom, they was living like shit. Diseases, sick, smallpox, all that. They ain't had nothing. So they came over here, and all thing they can do is be indentured to servitude, which means they had to work to become a native of the land. You understand? They had to work to become a native of the land. So that's the same thing as what you would call an employee today. The same thing happened to our people. We basically was employees for these European companies because they promised us that, we're going to take y'all goods and we're going to trade them and we're going to do this and that and we're going to make it better for y'all We gonna build some stuff basically, and y'all gonna be part of this system, and it's gonna benefit both our offsprings, and our kids gonna be good, and y'all kids gonna be good, and we all gonna live among each other as one. And that's one thing about our people was all about, is being one. We didn't care about people being white. We accepted white people. We let white people become part of our tribes and take upon our last names. So you think that, oh, I was a slave and I got my last name from a slave master? No, master got his last name from your grandparents, bro. Master got his last name. A lot of white people got their last name from your people, from your tribes. That's how they got away from all the. That's how they built their companies, man. That's how they got the resources to build their companies and profit, man. They just, when it was time to pay back, they figured to come together as a collective and not pay nobody back. Nobody came over here on no slave shit. Okay? What you see right here, this ain't even the correct map, the land map. So for them telling you we took you from here to here, that's a damn lie, because what you showing me right now, this ain't even the land map. So you couldn't have took me here from there. You ain't even showing me exactly where I came from. You lying about everything. You lying to your own people in the whole world about. I guarantee. I wonder if you go to any other place in the world, do they use this same map? I wonder, is this only in America? Because I noticed only things in America. Like I got a friend, his wife is from England, and I spoke of George Washington, right? Now George Washington is a white man. They all white. They supposed to be from England, right? All these white people is descendants from England, Europe. So you would think people in Europe would know some of this history here from these great white noble men from their land that has came and conquered so much. She didn't know who the hell George Washington was, because I think over in England, these niggas don't exist, and all their great accomplishments don't exist over in that land. I don't think they teach them people that. I don't think this information over here is accurate nowhere else in the world, but only inside the United States of America, bro. And that's what it just be killing me, bro. I think, real talk, you go anywhere else in the world, the only place this history and the stuff that we got going on in our textbooks and this McGraw education curriculum is only valid in the United States of America. History is told in a lie and it's told in reverse. Nobody came over here as slaves on boats, man. Okay? Not the indigenous people of America. Maybe the Africans that had stuff going on with the Europeans, robbing their boats, the pirates, and maybe the people they was fighting with for resources over amongst themselves. Because think about it, Europe is north of Africa. White people are the original African Americans. They really is all Africans all over there. If you want to be technical. And if you really want to get technical, man, Africa was never called that. Everything was called whatever it was called. Majority of the land masses once upon a time Ethiopia, but the northern section, it was like when you see, if you look right now at Libya, right? If you look at Libya, at the very top of Libya, it's a little brown spot between Libya and I want to say that's I don't know how to say that word, bro. I'm not gonna cap. I want to say Elgira or something like that. Elgira, I think that's Elgira. Right between Elgira and Libya. I believe that right there is what they used to call preferred is to Africa, and a little bit on top of Libya. But it was just a northern section of it called Africa, bro. Just a small section called Africa. I don't know how the whole continent became Africa, but once upon a time, long ago, don't quote me on the date, y'all, but long ago, that was called Africa, way at the top. Not the whole landmass. Africa once was its own area. And I think that's where I really think and believe that's where the Caucasian race originally came from, and up in the Caucasus Mountains. And I think they couldn't, don't quote me on this, but I think the sun had a problem with their population, so they probably moved up into the cold where they was more protected with better weather because they pigment, and they was getting sick from the sun because it was too hot. So they had to go more up north, and that's when they sit there and spread it out, and they populated, man. So they populated and everything. So you talking about thousands, hundreds of years just populating and populating and populating. So yeah, but honestly, I think that's, don't quote me on this though, y'all. But I know for a fact that was called Africa. But I think that's where Caucasian, white race people, I would say lighter pigment people, because white is not even a color, but lighter pigment people, I believe that's where they started it. Lighter pigment people started in Africa. That's why they call Africa Eve, Adam and Eve, and they're in the book of the Bible. So you gotta pay attention to that Bible too, because see, they base a lot of everything off the Bible. They need to, because they civilization don't really go back that far. You know what I'm saying? Not saying they wasn't always here. They was always here. People try to say white people only came here just about, they was never on Earth. No, they was always here, bro. They was always here. They just didn't have accomplished. They just wasn't conquering and doing much until later on. Now, I'm gonna tell you who had a foot in the game for a while. The Chinese. The Chinese had a foot in the game through history. They can date their history back to like the 1200s, the late 1100s, 1200s. But I don't think they can go back no further than that. But as far as us, we could go back so far, but they don't want you to know that. See, we got the longest history. This is what this is about. This is proof that you got the longest history, that y'all did the most inventions, the most y'all built the biggest and longest lasting civilizations around the world. So y'all gotta think about it, man. When you go to all these countries, you got these indigenous people. Australia, Indonesia, Madagascar, all these little islands, south of India, Africa, which I would call, but it's not Africa, it's all these different other countries on one landmass. South America, Mexico, Central America, all that. They're all indigenous people. Mexico, and the Americas, North America, all indigenous people. Everywhere you go is just indigenous people in these places. When you see all these Asian islands and stuff, was indigenous people there once upon a time. The Nagas. See what I'm saying? The Nagas was of Southeast Asia. They was the dark Asians, the black Asians, the snake people, the Nagas. See what I'm saying? We had all these tribes, man, and we was wearing gold, uranium, all the copper, all the elements of the earth, because we had them all around us. All right, y'all. Look, I'm gonna cut this short. I'm just letting y'all know we ain't all come from Africa. That people was already where they was at. People did travel. People did share cultures. People did live amongst each other. But for the most part, people was already spread around everywhere. No white people was not no creation made by some man. They be talking all this. We came from the Galactics, and we come from all these other planets and all this crazy stuff that I think is crazy. I think people go so far off of what's just right in front of our face. Like, people get so deep into researching and watching videos and so much stuff, and they get to digging so deep that they get lost. Bro, this is history. You follow history. Mainly follow the money. Follow how people got written. No, actually follow the goods. Follow the resources. See, we say money now because the paper money always, we say follow the money and you'll find the truth. You'll find out who in charge or who are the ball players in the game. But follow the resources in this case, because the resources is the money. You got to follow the gold, the sugar. Like, say, where the sugar cane originally started from, where chickens originally started from. And then you see how this got there and in what period of time that they start having this fruit there, or this vegetable there, or this animal there. How did it get? Because you gotta understand, once you start finding out the original regions of these goods, and then you can start tracing what time frame that they enter into what land masses. So that let you know when people start traveling and trading. You see what I'm saying? And then that let you know the people from that region who went to what region and start trading what. This is how you really track down history dates. Y'all got to start really looking at that type of stuff. Stop listening to what the textbook say, and if you go outside the textbook, are you wrong? No, you might be right because the textbook is wrong, and we know it's wrong. So we need to leave McGraw curriculum alone. Remember what I said? Unlearn and relearn. So that's my breakdown for y'all. I hope this like gave y'all some clarity with the bull about the slave trades and all that. People was prisoners. People did do crimes. People did, you know what I'm saying? Even Europeans was once slaves and brought over to the Americas, the criminals, people that had to work and all that stuff, people that were just poor and wanted to work. They was all once slaves. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say slaves. Let's just say employees, indentured servitude, because they came to work. They ain't like they just came on the shackles and as prisoners. Now, some Europeans was prisoners. Some Africans was prisoners. But a lot of people came over here too just to work and help build and build, you know what I'm saying, for whoever they came over here to build under, whoever ruling they was under. So that's the most important thing I wanted to get out there to y'all, to let y'all know the whole world was already pretty much civilized and already populated. So for people to say they brought people here and started and they built this and that, and other people didn't really do too much and they were just slaves and bondage, that's not true. Find your people, find your tribes, track your last names through your grandparents and all them. Get all your grandparents' names as far as you can track back. Track the dates back when they was born, and just take like a record of that. Just take down notes, and then once you get all them names and you got listed, you got your mom, father, your mother name, your dad's mother and father name, and you got their mother and father names, and their mother and father names, and you got down the list. It's like 4 or 5 generations, as much as you can go down. And then you take all that, and then you really start doing some digging. And then you start getting on the information on tribes and the last names that belong to those tribes and what region they was in. And then you take that right there, and you start doing your genealogy and all that other stuff, whatever they call it. So man, look, find out who y'all is, man. Stop walking around here blind, man. Stop believing everything that somebody tell us. We all been misled. I've been misled. So don't be discouraged. Don't feel like you're ashamed to admit it. You know what I'm saying? Just own up to it. You ain't wrong. Even for white people, learn this history, man. Learn the truth and tell your kids the truth. And it's not like we sitting here about to teach or let's get revenge on white people for what they, because we know all y'all didn't do it. A lot of y'all came over here as slaves and was workers too. Y'all got mistreated. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not about that, man. It's about good people that really want to be, that want to live amongst each other and grow and have a healthy environment for them and their offspring for generations to come. And, spread love and just build, you know what I'm saying? That's what this is all about. And it's always been about that. People just did, unfortunately, people just did grimy stuff, and it created a lot of conflict between people because people trying to get over thinking they doing something for they people, but really it's just benefiting their own personal, you know what I'm saying, gain. And at the end of the day, you might think it's benefiting you, but when we look at time, even with us as Americans, like when our government go to other countries and destroy people's countries, and we reap the benefits of that happening, and stuff easier for us, gas go down, or we get more stuff, or got the new latest TV, whatever it is, bro, that perks that we get, it's the same thing with us now, you know what I'm saying, as it would happen to our ancestors in the before times with the, you know what I'm saying, y'all get what I'm saying. So let's break that, you know what I'm saying, let's teach each other the reals, and let's still spread love, but we need people to understand we was done wrong, and a lot of stuff was stolen, and we all need to sit there and really look at that and fix the problem in America so we can have a better America in the future. Because if we don't, this gonna keep on going on, and one day the lid gonna pop, and when it pop, it's gonna be blood spilled all over everywhere. Nobody's gonna be able to live amongst each other. Everybody's gonna hate each other, and that's not what we want, and that's not what America's about. So, you know what I'm saying? Well, like I always say, Americans, let's learn this truth, unlearn, relearn. We all we got.